If we're being honest, most men have no idea how female attraction actually works. They think buying flowers, sending good morning texts, and showering a woman with constant attention will win her over. In reality, that's the fastest way to make her lose interest. Harsh truth. Women don't obsess over men who make themselves too easy to figure out. They obsess over men who understand the psychology behind desire. And here's where it gets controversial. Attraction isn't about being the nicest guy in the room. It's about triggering specific emotional and psychological responses that make you unforgettable. You can call it manipulation if you want, but the truth is women are doing the same thing to men all the time, whether they admit it or not. The difference is most men don't even realize it's happening. The women who keep you thinking about them day and night, they've mastered the art of subtle psychological hooks. They know how to make you chase, how to plant themselves in your mind, and how to keep you emotionally invested. The thing is, those same principles can work in reverse. And that's what you're going to learn today. This is not about tricks or fake personas. It's about understanding the deep patterns in female psychology, what ignites attraction, what builds emotional dependency, and what keeps a woman constantly thinking about you when you're not even around. If you're expecting just be yourself advice, this isn't for you. This is about stepping into a mindset where you naturally draw women in without chasing, begging, or overcompensating. So, if you've ever wondered why some men seem to have women hooked without even trying, you're about to learn exactly how they do it, step by step. The first principle is one that most men violate constantly without even realizing it. You need to stop being so available. One of the fastest ways to kill a woman's attraction is to make yourself constantly available to her. If every time she calls, you answer on the first ring. If every time she texts, you reply instantly. If you cancel plans just to see her, you're basically telling her, "My life revolves around you." And nothing kills desire faster than a man who has nothing else going on. Here's the reality. Most men don't want to hear. Women are attracted to men whose time feels valuable. If she feels like she can have you whenever she wants, there's no sense of urgency, no anticipation, and no mystery. Think about it. If your favorite food was available in unlimited supply 24/7, you'd eventually get bored of it. Scarcity creates value. When you're too available, you also remove the challenge. And women, whether they admit it or not, love the thrill of the chase. They want to earn your attention, not be handed it for free. The more you make her work for your time, the more she'll respect it, and the more she'll think about you when you're not around. This doesn't mean ignoring her completely or playing childish games. It means having a life, friends, goals, hobbies, responsibilities that come before her. Sometimes it means not letting her assume she's your number one priority when she hasn't earned that place yet. Let's say a guy meets a woman he really likes. She texts him on a Wednesday asking if he's free to hang out that night. Instead of dropping everything, he replies, "Can't tonight? I've got plans. How about Friday?" What happens here? First, he's shown he has a life. Second, he subtly created anticipation. Now she's waiting for Friday, thinking about it, and valuing that time more when it comes. The key is balance. Be present when you're with her, but don't always be at her beck and call. Attraction grows in the space you leave for her to miss you. And when she misses you, she starts to wonder about you. When she wonders about you, she becomes curious. And when she becomes curious, she becomes invested. That's the psychological chain reaction you want to trigger. The second principle is about triggering her fear of losing you. If a woman feels like she has you locked down with zero chance of losing you, she can start taking you for granted. That's just human nature. When we feel something is permanent and guaranteed, we stop putting in the same effort. The uncomfortable truth is attraction lives in the space between security and uncertainty. She needs to feel safe with you. Yes, but she also needs to feel that if she stops bringing value, she could lose you. Most men do the opposite. They try to prove loyalty so aggressively that it removes all sense of risk. They announce, "I'm never leaving no matter what." And in doing so, they unknowingly kill her motivation to keep the relationship exciting. You're not making her feel secure. You're making yourself predictable. Triggering her fear of losing you doesn't mean playing cruel games or threatening to walk out every time you disagree. It means holding yourself to a higher standard. Knowing your worth and making it clear through your actions that you won't stick around if you're disrespected, undervalued, or treated like an afterthought. You do this by maintaining your independence, having boundaries, and refusing to tolerate bad behavior. When she realizes you can walk away if the relationship becomes one-sided, it flips a psychological switch. She starts putting in more effort, not less. That's because she understands she's dealing with a man who has options and self-respect. For instance, you've been seeing a woman for a few months, and lately she's been canceling plans last minute to hang with friends. Instead of acting desperate and begging for her time, you calmly say, "If you're too busy, that's fine, but I'm not interested in a relationship where I'm not a priority." Then you actually go live your life. Suddenly, she realizes she could lose you, and that fear pushes her to reinvest in the connection. Bottom line, attraction doesn't thrive on absolute certainty. It thrives when she knows she could lose something valuable if she stops valuing it. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. In relationships, you cannot control whether she stays or goes, but you can control your own standards, your own boundaries, and your own willingness to walk away. And when you embody that truth, she senses it. She knows you're not a man who will tolerate being taken for granted. And that knowledge alone makes her value you more. The third principle is controlling the pace, not her. One of the biggest mistakes men make in dating is letting the woman dictate the speed of the relationship. You meet her, you like her, and before you know it, you're moving at her pace. Texting when she wants, hanging out when she's free, adjusting your schedule to fit hers, and committing before you've even had the chance to really see who she is. When you do this, you're giving away control without even realizing it. You're saying, "I'm just happy to be here, and I'll follow your lead." But here's the thing. Women are far more attracted to men who set the tone, who decide when and how things progress, and who aren't in a rush to lock it down. Think about it. How many times have you seen a guy move too fast, showering her with attention, planning the future after only a few dates, and then she loses interest? It's not because he wasn't nice enough. It's because he removed the sense of curiosity and anticipation. She didn't get to wonder about him. She didn't get the chance to earn his deeper commitment because he gave it away too soon. Controlling the pace is about being intentional. You decide when the relationship gets more serious. You decide how much time you spend together each week. You decide when she gets access to deeper parts of your life. That doesn't mean being rigid or unkind. It means making sure things move at a speed that keeps attraction alive instead of suffocating it. When you set the pace, you give her time to miss you, to think about you, and to feel excited for the next step. You also keep yourself in a position of strength. You're evaluating her just as much as she's evaluating you. Most men think rushing will make her love them more. In reality, slowing things down makes her invest more. You're not pulling away, you're leading. And women respect and crave men who lead. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This applies to the pace of a relationship as well. If you feel pressured to move faster than you're comfortable with, don't do it. Stay true to your own rhythm. Your integrity is more important than her approval. And ironically, when you hold your ground, she respects you more for it. The fourth principle is making her chase your validation. Too many men have their roles completely backwards in dating. Instead of making a woman earn their approval, they spend the entire relationship begging for hers. Every move is designed to impress her. Expensive dates, constant compliments, endless favors, all in the hope she'll see his worth. But here's the truth. The moment you start seeking her validation instead of the other way around, you've already lost ground. Men need to wake up to this reality. Your value is not something she decides. It's something you already have, and she either recognizes it or she doesn't. When you make her the prize and put yourself in the position of the chaser, you strip away the very thing that fuels attraction. The idea that you are someone worth winning over. You've probably seen it happen before. Guys bending over backward for a woman who barely puts in any effort. They tell themselves, "If I'm good enough, she'll want me." But in female psychology, that's not how it works. When she senses you're desperate for her approval, it sends a clear message. You're not used to being valued, and she doesn't need to do much to keep you. Flip the script. Stop being the man who's always trying to prove himself and become the man who expects a woman to prove herself to him. That means you don't hand out your time, attention, and emotional energy to just anyone who's attractive. She has to earn it through respect, consistency, and the way she treats you. This doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you a man with standards. And standards are magnetic. When she realizes you're not impressed just because she's beautiful, she'll work harder to show you she's more than just a pretty face. That's when she starts chasing your validation. And that's when the dynamic shifts entirely in your favor. Stop being the approval seeker. Start being the approval giver. That's how you keep her hooked. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Don't waste your time and energy chasing validation from someone who doesn't recognize your worth. Invest it in becoming the kind of man whose validation actually means something. When you do that, you become the prize, not the pursuer. The fifth principle is staying a mystery. The moment a woman feels like she's figured you out completely, the excitement starts to fade. Humans are naturally drawn to what they can't fully predict. And women are no different. The guys who keep women hooked for years aren't necessarily the richest or the best looking. They're the ones who maintain an air of unpredictability. Most men kill the mystery early on by oversharing every detail about themselves, their past, and their plans for the future. They think transparency will build connection. But in reality, it removes curiosity. If she knows exactly where you are, what you're doing, and what you'll say before you say it, what's left for her to discover? Mystery doesn't mean being secretive or shady. It means having layers. It means letting her learn about you over time instead of dumping your entire life story in the first month. It's keeping some parts of yourself for later, so she's always looking forward to the next reveal. When she's curious, she invests more. She thinks about you when you're not around. She wonders what's on your mind, and she keeps putting in effort because she hasn't solved you yet. The truth is, mystery keeps you from becoming boring. And in relationships, boring is the enemy of attraction. So, don't hand her the full puzzle all at once. Let her enjoy putting it together piece by piece. Think about the most fascinating people you've ever met. Were they the ones who told you everything about themselves in the first conversation? Or were they the ones who revealed themselves slowly? Who kept you guessing? Who made you want to know more? Exactly. The same principle applies here. When you maintain an element of mystery, you stay interesting, you stay intriguing, and you stay on her mind. Now, here's the reality most men don't want to face. A woman's love is never unconditional. It's always tied to how she feels about you in the moment. If you stop being the man she's drawn to, her feelings will change. That's not bad. That's just human psychology. And pretending otherwise is why so many men get blindsided when attraction fades. The Stoics understood this truth deeply. They knew that attachment to things outside our control leads to suffering. And a woman's feelings are outside your control. What you can control is your own behavior, your own growth, your own value. If you focus on becoming a man of substance, a man with purpose, a man who doesn't need validation, you will naturally attract women. And if a woman loses interest, you won't be devastated because your self-worth was never dependent on her approval. This is the Stoic path to freedom in relationships. Detach from outcomes. Focus on your own excellence and let the chips fall where they may. When you do this, you become magnetic without even trying because you're not performing. You're not chasing. You're simply being. And that is the most attractive quality a man can possess. If anything in this video challenged what you thought you knew about women, good. That means you're waking up. I don't make these videos to comfort you. I make them to prepare you. Too many men are playing this game blind, and it's costing them relationships, self-respect, and years of their life. But you don't have to be one of them. You can choose to understand the psychology of attraction. You can choose to apply these principles. And you can choose to become the kind of man who doesn't chase, but attracts. The choice is yours. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one time you realized a woman was starting to lose interest, and how did you handle it? Drop your story in the comments, and I'll personally reply to as many as I can. This channel isn't just me talking. It's a place where we can learn from each other's wins and mistakes. Because here's the thing, what I've shared today is only the start. In the next video, I'm going to reveal the single most dangerous behavior that kills attraction instantly. And it's something almost every man does without realizing it. So, hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you don't miss it. I'll see you in the next one.